Among the Garos in ancient days, there lived in a village on the bank of the Rongdik River in Garo Hills a man named Joreng. He had a very beautiful wife, called Dombey, who was stated to belong to the Remmer clan of the Garos. One day before a batch of his compatriot by the side of a deep pool in the Rongdik River, Jorang was loudly praised the virtues and accomplishments of his wife. He blurted out blatantly that his wife, even after giving birth to her second child, still retained her charming youthfulness and matchless beauty. A young son of a mermaid, living in the inner recesses of the pool, heard the proud man's boastful words and determined to find out for himself how beautiful Dombey really was. Accordingly, he concealed himself in a shallow portion of the pool, waiting for Dombey to come to draw water. Some time later, Dombey came to the pool, and when the young water-wight saw her, he fell in love with her at once. So, when Dombey came down to the river to bathe later on, the young water-wight abducted her and took her quickly to his aquatic home in the pool. Now, in this respect, the Garos firmly believe that whenever mermaids, mermen, or water-wights snatch away human beings alive from dry land and take them to their watery dwellings, they have a special power by virtue of which they are able to keep their captives alive in the water, enabling them to breathe and making them immune to wet and cold. So when the baby vociferously cried out in hunger, the young girl, standing on a rock by the side of the pool, shouted to her mother, "Mother, come back, baby is crying. Come, give her suck." Dombey heard her elder daughter's voice and speedily arose to the water's edge where her children were. The young water-wight followed her, holding her body lightly in his arms. When the beautiful woman expressed a strong desire to feed her child, the water-wight allowed the upper portion of her body to emerge above the water, while he held on to her legs below. In this way, Dombey was able to give suck to her baby. When the child's hunger was satiated, the mother told her elder daughter to return home and mind the baby well. At home, Joreng asked his daughter where her mother had gone. She answered that she had not yet returned home from bathing. At this, the father concluded that his beloved wife had been drowned in the pool. He did not believe his daughter when she told him the story of her mother being alive inside the pool and of her having come to the surface to give suck to her baby. Next day, the young girl went down to the pool with her small sister on her back and called to her mother to give suck to the baby as before. Joreng, meanwhile, having been overcome with an insatiable desire of ascertaining the truth of his daughter's tale, had secretly followed her to the pool, concealed himself behind a nearby rock, and watched the proceedings with great eagerness. His curiosity was rewarded. He watched his daughter approach the pool, heard her call her mother, and then observed something move under the water. In the twinkling of an eye, he saw his beautiful wife appear above the ripples and give suck to her chid. With a heavy heart, Joreng watched her disappear beneath the waves once more. The following day, Joreng vigorously whetted and burnished his two-edged sword to win back his wife. He sharpened it so assiduously that a fly which happened to alight upon the edge of the blade was immediately cut into two, and he burnished it so brightly that it looked like a streak of lightning. Joreng then ordered his daughter to call her mother as before, while he himself lay hidden close by with his sword in his hands. The child did as she was told, and soon Dombey's body up to her waist rose over the surface of water, but her legs were shackled in the strong grip of the water-wight under the water.
Joreng nimbly leaped to his feet, firmly caught hold of his wife's wrist, and recklessly thrust his burnished sword into the water to frighten her captor.
Seeing the flashing sword, the terrified water-wight let loose his fair captive in a hurry. So great was Joreng's exultation in retrieving his beautiful wife that he passionately danced upon the ground, and hilariously yelled aloud in sheer joy. The water-wight heard his victorious cry and took it to heart. He vowed immediate revenge. In order to keep himself and his family out of harm's way, Joreng resolved to build a house on the top of a tree far from the fatal river. So, he constructed on a big peepul tree a large and beautiful Borang, treetop house, and dwelt there with his beloved wife and children. He never allowed his spouse to come down from the tree to draw water from any river or stream or rill. He himself always brought water for her and her children enough to drink and bathe in, and hold it up to the Borang. There in his cozy little home, Joreng felt serenely secure, complacently congratulating himself on putting his family beyond the reach of the water-wight or any other mischievous aquatic of creature. But the water-wight was determined to win Dombbeay back again. So he took his servants with him and searched for Dombbeay. Traces of his path, made by him mid his aquatic servants in quest of Dombbeay. The path in quest of Dombbeay are identifiable to the village lands of Emangre and Okatgar in Garo Hills up to this day.
He employed giant aquatic serpents, gigantic eels, massive crabs, water lizards, alligators, and thousands of gigantic boawal and shungfishes to help him in the task of excavating the tunnel which was to reach from the pool to the Borang.
One summer night it rained so incessantly the whole night long that the rivers were all swollen in flood. Amidst the swish of pelting rain and the howl of boisterous wind, a water wraith warned Jorang that he and his family would be drowned unless they moved at once from the Borang and went to the top of Garo Hill, a massive tree with a treehouse sinking into the earth as it collapses into a newly formed lake. The following morning the villagers, noticing that the big peepal tree with the beautiful Borang on it was no more, went to visit the place. This lake, known as Dombey Wari or the Pool of Dombey, can still be seen in the Emangre Government Reserve Forest in the Garo land.
By the banks of the Rongdik, where the wild waters run, lived on the beautiful, warm as the sun, of the Rima clan born, with a smile like the dawn, and Joreng her husband, whose boast echoed on. No woman can match her, his voice carried wide. No woman can match her, his voice carried wide. But the river was listening, deep in the tide.
Cold, it hungers for beauty, or so we are told. Hold fast to your loved ones, keep far from the shore, for the white of the river is waiting for more.
A shadow beneath, where the currents run still, the merman arose with a longing to fill. He stole away Dombe beneath the dark wave, alive in the water, a beautiful slave. But a daughter stood crying upon the grey stone. But a daughter stood crying upon the grey stone. Mother, come feed him, the baby's alone. Up from the ripples she rose to the air, held by the white in his watery lair. Then Jorang leapt out with a flash of his blade, a two-edged milam in the damp forest shade. He pulled his love free and danced on the banks in his wild, reckless glee. High in the peepal tree, safe from the flood, a Borang of timber above the wet mud. He never shall reach us, Jor under the roots, move the vengeance and tide. With serpents and fishes the earth was laid bare, a cavern of water, a silent dark snare. The summer rains fell and the night winds blew cold. A wraith gave a warning, a truth left untold. Flee to the mountain, but Jorang slept sound as the great peepal tree trembled down. Went the branches, the leaves and the wood, sinking forever where the great forest stood.
Now the village awakes, but the tree is no more, just an endless dark lake where runs silent and deep.